Church of the Park started in the park right behind us at Cascade Gateway Park, and we spent about a decade literally meeting people and connecting them to other resources.
For the last 3 years, we've been running the micro shelter communities here in Salem. And so we have been opening one for families that serves around 120 people. We have one for adults. And then at this site, we're going to be serving young adults, so 18 to 24-year-olds. And we'll have up to 38 at this site at a time.
We went from serving about 30 or 40 people in a week to having 300 folks on our doorstep. The city asked us if we would be willing to try to move folks from the park to give them more support at the Oregon State Fairgrounds. And so that was our first try at essentially managing a sheltering experience. The reality is the city decided they needed to close this park and go into kind of a massive cleanup. And it made us think about, well, what is going to be the purpose of this site? There were opportunities to apply for funding to serve very specifically 18 to 24-year-olds and to bring in extra education resources, extra job, workforce development resources, and that really excited our team.
One of the things we know to be true of our work is that we can't do it alone. And there's a lot of people supporting us relationally, financially, etc. So we wanted to create an opportunity for the community to see this spot that so many have already invested in and will get to invest in the future before any residents are here.
We've invited those who are partners, donors, and community members to come on site and really see what the shelters look like, what support services we'll be able to provide, where folks will share meals and do laundry.
So welcome to Turner Road site. We're so glad you're here. We're going to have 38 guests here, young adults age 18 to 24. We are ADA accessible. We do have a wheelchair lift. Happy to show you around. Come see, it's pretty rad. So here is a great example of one of our rooms. Mostly our beds are going to be double stacked like this, bunk bed style. We do let people who are couples stay in here so you can live with your partner. And so in those kind of cases, if folks want to, they can't, these can be unstacked. We also have the desk here. So we've got the beds here, have the fire extinguisher. We've got an air conditioner. Folks will keep their couple of bins of storage underneath here. And then you can have pets at our sites. You can have a pet a person. Then a lot of times guests here have more than just a couple of bins, right? Folks have opportunity to store all the rest of their belongings in storage pods, and then you can access those at any point in time. We are about creating communities of belovedness so that everyone can experience love and acceptance, right? And so we want to create for our guests places that are beautiful, and if I was unsheltered, I'd want to live here too. And let me show you this. Folks are so excited about having real bathrooms. So these are beautiful. Also, this bathroom is bigger than my house. So this is pretty rad. You can kind of see that we've got the seated chair and we've got the extra supports. These decks were made by a whole lot of our staff coming together on a couple of work days, but a ton of volunteers, and they are ridiculously over-engineered. So this is part of our having space for people to gather. And it's nice, in rainy season that people can have more space to be outside of your, outside of your pod. This is our commercial kitchen space. So we'll be fundraising to do a more formal commercial kitchen, but we have some supplies. So we'll be able to keep some food here and those sort of things. So this is kind of our common room space. There's lots of space for games. And then this is, you can kind of see our laundry room space here. So it's sort of a built on, but yeah, so this is our laundry room. There seems to be some ambition with the amount of garden beds there is, so that's pretty rad. We could do 8 different types of tomatoes, who knows, right? I just love that there's so much possibility in all of these garden beds, right? We can kind of meet everybody's wants here. So, but yeah, so it's pretty exciting, and things will continue to develop for sure.
We see our program as the first rung of the ladder in someone's journey off the street into more stable living. Our only real expectation for someone is that every single month they are meeting with their case manager to demonstrate that they're working towards their goals. And as long as they're doing that, we think that the best thing we can offer is a space for them to be for however long that journey is.
We were amazed that when we brought people into a safe and supported environment, how much they kind of just were able to breathe and think more clearly about their goals. We're going to be getting referrals directly from the school district and their McKinney-Vento program, directly from DHS and the foster care system, and then any other outreach partner who happens to be connecting with 18 to 24-year-olds, they'll be referring those folks to us, and we already have a universe of about 70 people who are interested in staying in these shelter beds.
We're really excited about partnerships with Shemeketa to really help people complete their education or look at furthering education. We have workforce development opportunities that are going to be born out of here, and so we're really just going to be able to provide a ton of resources and a ton of support here in a very beautiful way, just because we have our own space.
It is really, really hard for an individual to go from an unsheltered reality, living in a tent in an unmanaged situation, and then immediately get transported into four walls in a house. Like that, there is a shock to the system that happens there. There's a real desire to be in mutual relationship between guests and staff. It's not just a group of staff who happen to be housed coming in to rescue, save, or fix those who do not have housing, but there's a goal to create real organic and intentional community between staff and residents.
When a person comes here, they should know what it means to live in community here, what it means to be a safe person, and how to help other guests remain safe and supported. Then we're going to start adding on all the potential ways we could partner with them to build their team of having a primary care doctor, of having a counselor, of getting signed up for classes or applying for a job.
There's not necessarily an ideal process because everyone's going to come in at different levels. I mean, some people might have had work in the past, might be currently working. Some might not have ever had a job before. Some will have education needs that others don't. So it's going to be a really individualized approach, and part of the invitation for the community into that is to say, what can you bring to this space? Can you help tutor? Can you help with providing meals, or actually better yet, coming here and helping people learn how to cook? And be able to meal plan for themselves. Like, how do we build those life skills together? How do we share different career potentials, pathways, how that was for you, how that's good for you, and be able to share that in this space so that the young adults see different opportunities and have a lot more spaces to ask questions about what that looks like and how you got there.
Sometimes community members are excited about people getting the resources they need when they've been through a traumatic event or are struggling. Other folks may be more skeptical that a resource like this would just be enabling people to stay in the same spot. And the reality is, the folks who want to come into a community environment like this are saying, I'm ready for more.
All of our partners throughout the community know how to put people, get them on the list. But if they just go to our website, churchofthepark.org, then that list is also there. Somebody can just sign up for themselves as well.
For anyone who's just interested in knowing what does it mean to care well for someone who's living outside, the first thing is to get to know people's name and what their goals and fears and desires are for themselves. So that could be just saying hi to someone and asking, what's your name, to the person who's on this corner of the sidewalk. We would hope that the community would see this as an opportunity to get to know people really well and see that those real human experiences and desires are informing the care and services that we provide.